So in this video, we're going to solve system of inequalities. Okay? So we're going to have two inequalities together, and we're going to look for the solution set. So first example. So here you have two inequalities because of the inequality symbol. And what we're going to do to solve them, we're going to graph the two inequalities and look for the solution set. So for the first inequality, we know it is a linear inequality or like a linear equation, and we can graph linear equation. So for linear equation, we're looking for a slope and the intercept, y-intercept. Okay, so y-intercept is the number without x. So here for the first inequality, the y-intercept is positive 2. So on y-axis, look for positive 2, it is here. So this is one of the points on the line, on the linear equation. Okay? So, and then look for the slope. Slope is the number in front of the x. So here the number in front is negative 2, and we know slope is rise over 1. So we need a fraction. So negative 2 is negative 2 over imaginary 1, because negative 2 divided by 1 is still negative 2, but we turn it into a fraction, right? So rise over 1. So here is a negative rise. So we're going to go down 2, go right 1, okay? So from the y-intercept, go down 2 units, and then go right 1. Stop here. This is the next point on the line. Okay? And keep doing it from the second point. Go down 2, go right 1. Down 2, right 1. Keep doing this. Okay? And on the other side, from the y-intercept, go up 2, left 1. So you can make a line with these dots. Okay? And keep doing this. Up 2, left 1. Okay? Connect all of the points. We are going to have the first line for the first equation. Okay? And before we move on, this line is for equation, but here we have inequality symbol. So how do we represent the inequality symbol? Here the inequality symbol is greater than. So we're going to shade. For greater than, we're going to shade above the line. Okay? So this is a line. Above of it, on top of it, is here in this area. So shade it. Okay. So with the shading, this is your first inequality. Okay. And now let's graph the second inequality. Second inequality is first you are going to draw the line. This negative 1 is the y-intercept. So on y-axis, negative 1 is here. Draw a dot. Okay? And then look for the slope. Slope is positive 1 over 2. For positive slope, you're going to go go up 1, go right 2. Okay? So from the y-intercept, go up 1, go right 2. You have the next point. Keep doing it. Up 1, right 2. Up 1, right 2. Okay. Do the same on the other side, but on the other side, in order to make a line of all of the dots, you're gonna do 1 over 2, but this time from the y-intercept, go down 1, left 2. So if you see all of the dots are on the line, you know your directions are right. Okay? Go down 2, left, down 1, left 2. Down 1, left 2. Okay? You have these dots. Connecting them, you have the second line. Okay? And don't forget, we're dealing with the inequality. So here, for the second inequality, it is less than. So for less than, you're going to shade below the line. So here is your line, below it is on bottom of it. So it is this area, right? So you're gonna shade this area. Okay, and we finished shading both of the inequalities. Finally, you're gonna show me where the solution set is. So the solution set is the overlapping shaded area. Okay, so for the first, let me write it down. So this is your second inequality. Okay, so for the first inequality, your shading area is here. For the second inequality, the shading area is there. So what is the overlapping shaded area of these two inequalities? We can see it is here, right? So this overlapping shaded area is your solution set. Okay, and that's it. And one more thing, what it means. Okay? It means whatever point you pick up in this overlapping shaded solution area and plug it back into both of the inequalities, this point is going to make both of the inequality true. That is why the points in this overlapping shaded area is called the solutions of the inequalities. Okay? Before we move on, let's check to see if this is right. Okay? So let's pick up a point in this overlapping shaded area. And let me pick up, it's difficult to see, right? Let me erase some part first. So let's not erase it, just pick a point. What about, let's pick up this point. It is 3, -1. I'm going to put it here. So let's pick up any point in the solution set to see if this point is going to make the inequality true. If it is, it means this area is really the solution area. Okay? So this point is 3, -1. So when x equals 3, y equals -1. Let's plug it back into both of the inequalities. Okay? So for the first inequality, y, which is -1, let's see if it really greater than or equal to the other side, which is -2 times x, which is times 3 plus 2. And the right side equals what? -2 times 3 is -6, plus 2 is -4. Is -1 bigger than -4? Yes. So this point makes the first inequality true. And now let's check the second inequality. So y is -1 again. Less than, let's see if it is really less than the other side. The other side is 1/2 times x, which is 1/2 times 3, and then -1. And the right side equals 1/2 of 3 is 1.5. 1.5 minus 1 is 0.5. Okay. Is -1 smaller than positive 0.5? Yes. So this point in the solution set make both of the inequality true. Okay. If you pick up other points, okay, whatever other points in the solution set and plug it back in, it will make the inequality true. That is why this area is called the solution of the inequality symbol, the inequalities. Okay. And one more thing, if you pick up any point that is not in the solution set, for example, this point or this point or this point, or this point, okay? If you pick up whatever point that is not inside of the solution set and plug it back into the original inequality, it will not make the inequality true. Okay? You can try it if you're interested, but I'm not going to try it. Okay? But if you try it, it's going to be right. Okay? So that is how we solve the inequality symbols. And here we have the steps. Okay. And this is also the first example we just did. And you can see the solution set is here, which is the same as what we did. Okay. Here. Okay. And here you have the steps. First, graph and shade the first inequality. Second, graph and shade the second inequality. And then the overlapping shaded area is your solution area. Okay? And what is the solution set mean? It means if you pick up any point in the overlapping shaded solution area and plug it back into both of the inequalities, it will make both of them true. Okay, now let's look at the second example. So here we have two inequalities, and this time the two equations looks a little bit different. So how are we going to deal with it? Okay? So for the first one, you only have x, and it's x equals a number. Okay? So how do we do it? Okay? On x-axis, look for the number -3. So on x-axis, -3 is here, mark it. Generally, we mark the horizontal line this way, right? And then extending your mark. So that is your first equation. And then deal with the inequality symbol. Okay? The inequality symbol is less than. So for less than, you're going to shade below. So for this horizontal line, what is on top, what is below of it? So how are you going to decide? So look for the number on the number line. Your line falls on -3, and here we want the numbers smaller than -3, and we know the numbers on the left side are smaller than -3. It's -4, -6, -100. So x smaller than -3, we're going to shade this area for the first inequality. Okay, and then the second inequality, we cannot graph it because this equation is not in the standard way. The standard equation is y equals something, right? So first you're going to turn the second equation into the standard way. We want a y to be by itself. Okay? So what you're going to do, you're going to get rid of the 5x, get rid of the 3, one by one, starting with the 5x that is far away from the y. Okay? So how can you get rid of positive 5x? I'm going to subtract 5x. Do the same on the other side of the inequality. So this is gone. And you have 3y left greater than equal to. On the other side is -5x minus 9. You want to put the slope in the front. So you have the standard way of writing the equation, right? And then we still want y to be by itself. So get rid of the 3. How can you get rid of the 3? Look at the relationship. 3 is multiplying y. So get rid of multiplication. You're going to do division. And you're going to divide everything by 3. So this is gone. Okay? And now you have y greater than equal to. On the other side, -5 divided by 3, you can no longer simplify it. So copy it down, -5 divided by 3x, and minus 9 over 3. We know we can keep dividing it. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay? So this is your true second inequality. Now we have the intercept and we have the slope. We can graph it. Okay? So the y-intercept is -3. So on y-axis, -3 is here. Slope is -5 over 3. So negative slope means you're going to go down 5, then go right 3. Okay? So from the y-intercept, go down 5, go right 3. Okay? You have the next point. And then on the other side, it's still 5 over 3, but you're going to go up 5 from the y-intercept. Then go left 3. So you see the points are on the line. Okay? Let's do one more point. Go up 5, go left 3. Okay? Connect the 4 points. That is their second line. Okay? And then we're going to shade the inequality symbol. Okay? The inequality symbol here is greater than. So for greater than, we're going to shade above the line. Okay? So this is a line. Here is on top of it. So we're going to shade above it, which is this area. And let's make it clear. That is my first line. Okay? And finally, you're going to looking for the overlapping shaded area. Okay? So the overlapping shaded area that have 2 colors is this area. So this is your solution area or solution set. And that's it. Okay. Again, if you're interested, you can pick up any point in this solution area, plug it back into both of the inequalities. It's going to make both of them true. Okay. And before we move on, some of you say, I'm not familiar with rewrite the equation in the standard form like that. The computer programs can help you. I'm going to show you how to do it. But if you plan to take the SAT test, something like that, you need to know how to transform the equation from this one into the standard one. Okay? But right now, I'm going to show you an easier way to graph, okay? Which is using the decimals.com graphing tool online. Okay? So here we're doing the same inequalities, inequalities, and let's graph it to see we can have the same result here. Okay? So what you're gonna do, you're gonna graph the 2 inequalities, but you're gonna change the inequality symbol into equal sign when you plug it into the decimals.com. Okay? So first the equation x equals -3. Let's graph it. So let's open the decimals. So search for DE decimals. I already have it here, right? So let's go there and plug in the first inequality in the problem, which is x. And let's change the inequality symbol into equal sign because the decimals only recognize equal sign. Okay? -3. So let's make the escape into 1. Okay? So here is here is x-axis, okay? And the 3 is here. So we have a vertical line, which is what we just did on the graph, right? And then let's put in the second inequality. Let me see what it is. It's 5x plus 3y equals -9. So 5x plus 3y equals -9. 5x plus 3y equals -9. Here is the second line, right? So instead of rewriting this second equation into the standard way, you can just put it inside of the decimals and it will give you the two pictures. And then you shade it like what we did before. Let's see if the two pictures the same as what we draw by hand. So you see the second line going through about negative 1/2 on the x-axis, and it meet the first vertical line at -3 and 2. Let's look at these two key points on what we did by hand. So let's make it bigger. I can't. So the second line going through about -1 and -2 in between, and it meet the first line at -3, +2. We have these two key points, right? It means what we graph here is the same as what the computer graphed. Okay, and after finding the two lines, you're gonna do the shading by yourself. Okay, so this is an easier way of graphing the two lines, but you have to do the shading by yourself. Okay. Okay. Next example. So first equation, first inequality. Y equals a number. Okay, so it's y equals -2. Let's see the inequality symbol is equal. Okay, y equals -2. So on the y-axis, look for -2, mark it. Generally, we mark it this way, right? And then extending your mark. This is your first line. Okay, and then look at the inequality symbol. It's less than. So we're gonna shade below the line. So below the line is here, or the numbers -3, -4, -5 are smaller than -2, right? So this is your first shading of the first inequality. Now let's do the second one. Second one, you need to write it into the standard way. So you want y to be by itself. So you just need to get rid of the x this way by subtracting x on both sides. So this is gone. And I have positive y equals -x +1, because this is +1, so +1, right? And you have the standard second inequality. Let's draw the inequality symbol. And you can graph it. The y-intercept is +1, so on the y-axis, draw a dot on +1. The slope is what? We know it's negative imaginary 1, and write it into the fraction form. It's -1/1. Because it's a negative slope, so we're going to go down 1, go right 1 first. Okay? So from the y-intercept, go down 1, right 1. You have the next point. Down 1, right 1. Down 1, right. Your first move on the bottom is always go to the right. Okay? Down 1, right 1. And on the other direction, you're going to do the opposite. Up, then left. So from the y-intercept, up 1, left 1. Up 1, left 1. Keep doing it. Connecting all of the dots. You have the second inequality. Second line. Okay? And then deal with the inequality symbol. It is greater than. So you're going to shade above the line. So here is above the line, on top of the line. So you're going to shade this area. Let's make the first line more clear. Okay, so finally you're gonna shade the overlapping solution area. So the overlapping area that have 2 colors is here. So this is your solution area. And that's it. Okay. If at the beginning for the two inequalities you want to draw the line easier in the easy way, you can just use decimals and then make sure you do the shading in the correct way. Okay. Next example. So here we have two inequalities. Let's work on the first one. The first one we need to turn it into the standard way. By doing what? You want a y to be by itself. So you're going to get rid of the x by subtracting x on both sides. So this is gone. So you have y greater than or equal to -3. Okay. Negative x minus 3, right? Okay. And now you can graph it. Y-intercept is -3. On the y-axis, -3 is here. Slope is -1/1. Okay. So because it's negative slope, so we're going to go down 1, go right 1. Your first movement is always go right 1 on the bottom. Okay. So we're going to go down 1, go right 1 from the y-intercept. Down 1, right 1. Down 1, right 1. Okay. On the other direction, you're going to do the opposite. So you're going to go up 1, go left 1, right? So from the y-intercept on the opposite direction, up 1, left 1. Keep doing it until you reach the end of the coordinate plane. Connecting all of the dots. You have the first in line. Okay? And then deal with the inequality symbol. It is greater than. So you're gonna shade the top of the line, which is this is the top, right? So you're gonna shade this area. Okay. And now let's graph the second inequality. So first you're going to turn the inequality into the standard way. So we want y to be by itself. Get rid of the x by subtracting. This is gone. And now y equals negative x plus positive 3, so plus 3. Okay. So the y-intercept is positive 3 on y-axis, which is here. Okay. And the slope is -1/1, so we go down 1, go right 1 from the y-intercept. Down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1. Keep doing it. Okay. On the opposite direction, you're going to go up 1, left 1. And connecting the points. That's your second line. You see what? You see both of the lines. You see the two lines are parallel. Why? Because they have the same slope. Okay? But no matter what they are, we're going to do the shading, right? So the second inequality is less than or equal to. So for less than, we're going to shade below the line. So this is a line. Below the line is this area. We finish shading. Okay? Finally, look for your solution set, which is the overlapping shaded area. Okay? So the overlapping shaded area that have two colors is this area. So this is your solution set. Okay. Next example. So for the two inequalities, first we need to turn both of them into the standard way. Okay. So let's do the first one. I'm gonna put it here to have more space. I'm gonna copy it down. I have a purpose of doing this inequalities, so be careful. Okay? And first, you want a y to be by itself. So you want to get rid of the 4x and the 3. And it's from the 4x first because it's far away from the y, right? So get rid of the positive 4x by subtracting. So this is gone. And you have 3y greater than negative 4x minus 6. Okay? And then keep getting rid of the 3 by division. Divide everybody by 3. So we have y greater than negative 4 over 3x minus 6 divided by 3 is 2. Right? So this is the first inequality. We have no problem here. Nothing special here. We should be able to do this. Okay? And graph it. There's nothing new, so let's graph it. Okay? Y-intercept is negative 2. Slope is negative 4 over 3. So go down 4, go right 3. From the y-intercept, down 4, right 3. On the opposite direction, up 4, left 3, right? So from the y-intercept, up 4, left 3. One more point, up 4, left 3. Okay? Connecting them. That's your first line. And deal with the inequality symbol. It's greater than, so we're going to shade above the line, which is this area, above it, right? And now let's do the second inequality, so be careful for the second one. Okay. First, write it into the standard way. Okay. We want the y to be by itself, so we're going to get rid of the x by subtracting. Do the same on the other side. So I have negative 3y less than equal to negative x minus 9. Okay. And then we want to get rid of the negative 3 by division. Divide what? You want to get rid of negative 3, so you divide negative 3. Do the same on the other side. Until here, we should have no problem. Okay? So I have y on the other side. We have negative, it's become positive, right? So it's positive imaginary 1 over 3x. Negative 9 divided by negative 3 is positive 3. Okay? Here, first, the sign is easier to make mistakes. Negative divided by negative is positive. Okay? And then be careful about the inequality symbol. So if you divide a negative number, your inequality symbol is going to switch. Okay? So before it's less than or equal to, now it's greater than or equal to. Okay? This is important. Okay, so one more time. If you divide a negative number or multiply a negative number on the inequality, the symbol is gonna switch. Okay. I know we learned the inequality with the absolute value, but I didn't mention this thing. Okay, if you divide or multiply a negative number, switch the inequality symbol. This is important. Okay, so now we have the correct second inequality. We can graph it. So y-intercept is 3. Let me change the color. Slope is positive 1/3. So we're going to go up 1, go right 3. Do the same on the other direction. Go down 1, go left 3. Yeah. So we have the second line, which is here. And then deal with the inequality symbol in your final standard inequality. Okay, so this is greater sign. So for greater than, we're going to shade above the line, which is here. Okay. And finally, the solution area is the overlapping shaded area, which is here. So this is its solution set, and that's it. Okay. Finally, you do problem. Let's do it the easy way. Let's use the decimals. Okay? So you can practice how to do it. First, see it as an equation. Okay? So you can put it into the decimals. So it's 4x minus 3. Let's put it in. 4x minus 3. Y equal 9. Equals 9. This here. And the second equation is x plus 3y equals 6. X plus 3y equals 6. Okay, so I have this picture. Let's take a screenshot and put it in our PowerPoint. And then do the shading. Put it in. So finish graphing. Finish graphing the 2 lines. Okay. And now let's do the shading here. So this is the first line, if I remember it clearly, right? This is the second one. So for the first one, you have to be careful. This is negative 3y. So when you get rid of negative 3, you're going to divide the negative 3. And if you divide a negative number, the inequality symbol is going to change. So for the first inequality, the inequality symbol is going to change into greater than. Okay? So for the first line, greater than is on top of it, which is this area. Okay? And for the second line, Let's make the first line, second line clear. This is the first one. This is the second one. Okay. For the second one, is greater than, and the number is positive y. So you don't need to care about switching the sign. Right? Greater than again. So on top of the line is here. And your solution set is the overlapping shaded area, which is here. And that's it. So you can rewrite the two equations into the standard way and try to graph it by hand, and you should get the same result. Okay? So that's it about the inequalities. So draw the two inequalities, shade the inequality symbols for each of them, and the overlapping shaded area is your solution set. It means if you pick up whatever point on this side, on this solution set, and plug it back into both of the inequalities, it will make both of the inequalities true. Okay.